Hey. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the God Squad. What's happening, family? I got my two brothers from another mother, definitely from another father. We got the same uncle on our daddy's side. Anyhow, it's December Rose, your blackest friend on the God Squad, and I'm here with my two favorite white boys in the whole world. Well, I got three. I got three of them. We got Matt in the background on production. But what's up, Dylan? What's up, Keith? Introduce yourselves for those who don't know about us. They should know. The whole world should know about us, but there's a couple that don't.
Yeah, the whole world should know by now. I'm Dylan Neighbor Cruz, the tattooed theologian, author, permaculture enthusiast, and God Squatter. Welcome, y'all.
Yeah. There you go. I'm Keith Giles. I'm the old white guy, and I wrote a bunch of books. They're on Amazon. And yes, I'm the woke ass man. And I do Heretic Happy Hour podcast as well as the God Squad. And just happy to be here. We have a really great show in store, and hopefully we get some callers. And I want to hear from our listeners. Yeah, and if you go to godsquadpod.com on Facebook, you can. There'll be a link in there. You can join, and we have you come backstage and talk to us. You have a question? You want to stump the squad? You have a comment, something like that? Please jump on. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, holla at us, holla. So it's been quite a week. It's always quite a week these days. I don't know about y'all, but actually, since COVID, I feel like we're in warp speed you know what I'm saying? I feel like we've been in a black hole of breaking news and we can't get out.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
Yeah.
Or what?
It's like
Well, maybe
when
it's just
Han Solo's
2016,
like,
maybe before COVID.
we're gonna jump to light speed and we're just gonna stay there.
Everything
is happening so damn fast.
I don't know about you guys. I almost have an expectation that every single day I'm waiting. What's the crazy thing today? So there's got to be some. I'm looking for it, right? What's going to be on Twitter? Something's going to be on YouTube. Something's going to be there's going to be some crazy thing that's going to happen. And pretty much every day there's at least one, sometimes more than one crazy thing that happens. So that's what we're in right now, where we just now have learned to expect the craziest stuff. Yes, since Trump came down the escalator.
Look, Becky, the world ain't been the same. And
right.
What's up, Care Bear? She said, well, hey, y'all. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah, the world has not been the same. I'm ready. The black people have a statement that have gone all across the world that say, keep my name out your mouth. Yeah. Or whatever we're saying. Whatever it is, keep it out. I'm ready to kick Trump's name out my mouth.
Me too.
I'm ready. I can't wait. Hopefully by November, we can stop talking about this motherfucker for real.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
And I'm addicted to waking up seeing what this fool do. Who else is addicted to that? Yeah. I'm like, what did he do today in the last 24 hours?
I'm looking forward to the day, and I'm hoping it's going to actually happen soon, maybe even in the next few months, where I can go an entire 24-hour period without seeing his name, without seeing his face, without hearing anyone else say a word about him. I would just be amazing to just go an entire 24-hour period where there's not something about this guy. I'm ready.
Yes.
Ready for it to
I'm
be
so
over.
ready. Can you believe it's go ahead, Dylan.
Well, I'm just waiting for that day where I never have to hear his voice again.
Yeah.
And hear him lie every other fucking word out of his mouth. Like I'm exhausted. I'm sure America is exhausted by the orange menace, and
the problem is
wait till he's utterly irrelevant.
The problem is, Donna said, "This is how people talk who are in an abusive relationship." You ain't lying. I'm exhausted and entertained at the same time, and I'm so exacerbated by this whole thing. You know, I'm just like, I'm exhausted, but I can't let go. You know what I'm saying? I gotta wake up and turn the TV on. I gotta turn the radio on. I gotta go on YouTube. I gotta see what has happened. I'm exhausted, but I'm entertained at the same time. And I think, that's probably why he gets a free pass on a lot of this shit, because at the end of the day, he is an entertainer, and this shit has been dangerously entertaining.
Yeah.
and sad and crazy.
If it wasn't like life or death stakes where this guy could be in the Oval Office with his finger on the button, it would be funny. Like if this was a comedy, in fact, here's the thing.
We couldn't write it this way.
Nobody would believe it. If it
no
was
one would have greenlit this mess.
They'd be like, no, come on. No one would do that. No one would put up with that. And here we are. We're living in
The
bizarre.
president would never invite the Taliban to Camp David.
Never.
That's not in the script. He would not be running around with Laura Loomer. Yes, he would. He really would.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, he would say that people are eating cats and dogs, and people would believe that.
And they would totally believe it and defend it with no evidence whatsoever other than
none, because they saw it on TV somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Dylan?
The number of what the fucks this in just the last week, as John says, is off the charts. We got JD Vance saying that he lied and he knew he lied, and everybody's just like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
and said on television that he would create stories if he
said that out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be a time where a flat, bold-faced lie meant something. It doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. No.
It's like, okay. Meh.
And Trump saying a woman is now running and she's doing better than the man. Is this
he did say that.
Come on. Yeah,
he's struggling.
He couldn't understand that a woman could be winning an election.
Yeah, what the hell?
Matt said you can lie, just don't wear a tan suit. You ain't lying, boy. And don't be black neither. Don't you dare be black. The alternative Osterman said, do you think MAGA will die? No. MAGA will evolve, because before MAGA there was the Tea Party. Do y'all remember?
Yep.
There's always
there was George Bush.
MAGA will evolve.
It'll become something else. That's right. It may not be MAGA. Else. It'll just be some new thing. That's right.
And before the Tea Party, it was something else. And before that, and if you keep going back, it was the KKK, honey. And they done came back out like, hey, did somebody say they wanted a racist?
Yeah.
Let's put some flyers out.
Right. That's what's happening in Springfield, right? We talked about that last night on John's show, that that because of all this nonsense, about JD Vance and the cat and Trump, and talked about the cats and dogs, that the KKK has been passing out flyers and stuff about, racism and stuff. And it's like, yeah, come on. Why is it that it's always the KKK and the white nationalists that are always supporting Republicans? Like, if I was a Republican, that would bother me. I would be like, why are they always on our side? Why are they always like in favor of our guy? And you're okay with that? That doesn't bother you? I mean, it should bother you. I mean, of course, obviously a whole bunch of people, it doesn't bother them, obviously. It should. It really should.
Beth has an interesting comment, which I agree with. It said it's been interesting to see men who used to question women in abusive relationships why they don't just leave, and they now count out. And when I think of Marco Rubio, I think of what's his name down there in Texas. His name just slipped my mind. Trump made fun of his wife, Ted Cruz. I think of all these people who have been at the butt end of some kind of joke or crazy nickname from Trump, and they just kissing his ass now. And it's right. These folks got Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
they can't get away.
JD Vance's wife now.
Yeah, I know.
Because Laura Loomer threw her under the bus.
Yeah.
and he was like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what he said. It didn't matter.
How is JD Vance?
It doesn't matter to his wife.
He's still married. His wife is Indian. She's a daughter of immigrants. And here's her husband going on and on, stoking fear of immigrants. Like, is that guy sleeping on the couch? Or is his wife like doing so many mental gymnastics to justify, or better, she's probably just completely like, she's not watching the news. She's just, she's ignoring all of that stuff. And so she's oblivious to it. I don't know. But I don't understand how JD Vance goes home at night and, crawls into bed with his wife, knowing what he just did today. How was your day, honey? Well, I just accused, immigrants of being animals and eating animals, and I made it up, but you have to do those things.
And I defended the would-be wannabe president / dictator hanging out with the internet troll who said the White House is going to smell like curry, and the phone calls are going to be answered by call centers in India.
There you go. Exactly. And you have an Indian wife. Like, dude, I don't get it.
It's interesting. But we've had some things. What's up, Michael Rose Garcia, too? He said, I'm worried about everything lately. My own community hasn't been mentioned much. It worries me that LGBT rights aren't on people's minds. I promise you they are on people's minds. Oh, yeah. It's just that we're consumed with so much news. It's hard. Do you understand? When did the shooting that happened in Winder, Georgia, that was not that long ago.
It feels
like, was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a few. It was like maybe a month ago. Yeah, but it feels like it's like 6 months ago.
Less than a month.
Does anyone remember Arlington Cemetery and what Trump did at Arlington Cemetery? Like, no, we've all forgotten about it because, like John was saying, there's been like 6 or 7 what the fucks between there and now that we've all forgotten about that. Like, there's just so much stuff.
It's like you just can't even digest it before something else is getting shoved down your throat. But we've had some things go down this week. Yeah. In the news over there in Washington at the Capitol. One of our favorite people on the planet right now, which is the Jasmine Crockett.
My new hero.
Big crushing hard over here.
Hey, she's from Texas. He's from Texas. I'm in Texas. There's something good in Texas. Not all Ted Cruz. We actually have someone like this, Jasmine Crockett. She's awesome.
I am 99% heterosexual cisgendered woman, but I reserve that 1% for people like Jasmine.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just playing. I love you, boo, to my husband. You got my whole heart and body and mind and soul next to God. So anyways, listen, we got a clip of Jasmine Crockett, and she is doing what she do best. Telling them like a TI is. Go on and run that footage.
It's a beautiful clip.
You know what? This hearing is actually the best example of what waste, fraud, and abuse looks like, because the only reason we're having this hearing is because somebody got their feelings hurt in a debate. And I don't understand why we're wasting taxpayer dollars. Next time, tell your big boy to show up and be ready to handle the woman in the room who hopefully will become the next president of the United States. Nevertheless, while we do have 2 amazing authors from Project 2025, which it seems like everybody got the memo. Like, yes, I'm going to double down and say it's my thing, but I'm going to make sure I also say that it ain't our homeboys thing, because we know that it doesn't poll very well with the American people, because the American people are woke enough to recognize that there is nothing good in it for them. And the final thing that I will say is that this election, I didn't ask you a question. The final thing that I will say is that this election is the best example of why y'all are so afraid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, because then you can't have a simple-minded, underqualified white man somehow end up ascending. Instead, you've got to pay attention to the qualified Black woman that is on the other side. And with that, I will yield.
Boom.
I will yield.
Damn.
If I had a mic, look, let me drop this right here.
Drop that
I need to drop something. Let me drop something.
I'll drop my pen.
Look.
Damn.
Man, and tell me what were they even meeting about, Keith?
It was actually a meeting that the Republicans are having a meeting to investigate Biden's policies, because they're again, it's this you did it to our guy, we're going to do it to your guy, and they're just wasting time hunting and searching for something bad that they can't find because it's not there. So that's what he was saying. It's just a waste of our time. But hey, they had these 2 guys from Project 2025 on there. Dude, that last part, this is why you guys are afraid of DEI, because without it, it means that because with it, right, it would mean that you can't just expect that you're simple-minded, underqualified white guy, mediocre white guy could just roll into the office, right? And instead, this woman shows up and she's awesome and she's intelligent and she's kicking his ass. Yeah, it's.
What's your thoughts on that, Dylan?
I love that.
I did not ask you a question.
I did not ask you a question.
When I want to hear from you, I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
This is my time, not yours. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Donna said, can you post a link to that video? Yes. John said Jasmine is a wordsmith extraordinary. She is. She just know how to sling some things together that just sting in all the right places. Just, you know what I'm saying? Love old girl. But listen, we got some other stuff from this week in the news. This one is super funny. Tell us about this, Keith. Nicky Jam, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who is a Latin pop star, I guess, or hip hop. I don't know if he's hip hop or pop.
I think he's hip hop. Nicky, I'll be honest, I never heard of the guy either.
I don't know him either.
But
I do know that it's a he after the news this week. Yes. I know that much.
Yes, but someone didn't know it was a he. If you haven't seen the clip, it's pretty funny.
Someone very significant didn't know.
Yes.
Someone introducing him didn't know he was a he.
That's right. And luckily it was recorded. So let's just roll that clip. Pretty short.
See how that went.
Latin music superstar Nicky Jam. Do you know Nicky? She's hot.
She's hot.
Where's Nicky?
Where's Nicky?
Where is Nicky?
Great to
Where is
be
Nicky?
having you here.
He just always looks like a sweaty
Now
old
you have to
orange mess.
get. Oh, look.
Oh,
Who's this person?
I'm glad he came up.
I bet.
Yeah.
His arm.
Yeah, and obviously Nicky Jam is a man.
And obviously Trump don't know who the hell Nicky Jam is.
When somebody, look, I don't know who it is either, but if that person endorsed me, number one, and number two, hey, we're going to fly Nicky Jam out here and they're going to be on stage with you. Okay, I would make sure I met them first, shook their hand. How you doing? Thanks for coming.
Something.
Then I would know, but like to be live on the stage for the first time, reading the teleprompter. Oh, Nicky Jam, she's hot.
Yes, Nikki, either the day this happened or the day after,
Yes,
pulled his endorsement.
pulled it. I think it was right after.
But now, I mean, he's already like the butt of all kinds of jokes, and I mean, I think he just got excoriated online by the Spanish community. Listen, you know, you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. That's all I'm gonna say. Trump don't give a shit about you, Nikki. He never did. He don't even know your ass. Okay, no. He didn't care enough about you, nor the Latin American, Hispanic, whoever. I don't know if he's from Puerto Rico, Colombia, but I don't know where he's from. He don't give a damn about you or your people. No. Because if he did, he would have at least researched who you were. That's enough to know the bare fucking minimum, which is you're a man. You are a whole dude in these streets.
I wonder though. I wonder though. See, in a way though, what Nicky Jam did, it's kind of like a publicity thing, right? Like, I wonder if I sent an email to Trump's campaign and I said, Keith Giles, who's like a white Christian superstar, endorses you, and then he'll fly me out and I'll get to go on stage, and then the next day I can just say, you know what, I'm dropping my endorsement. But hey, I get to be on television, I get to, everyone knows my name, they're playing the clip of my name everywhere. Like, it's a way to kind of get, you know, I didn't know, here's the thing, I didn't know who Nicky Jam was before now, but now I do.
Right. So yes. It's and that's another thing. Yes. Did y'all see where Trump had a grown-up tantrum on his sham social media? True Social, where he put in where he scream posted
all caps.
I hate to, like, I could almost picture in my mind him saying this with the utmost frustration and agitation.
Yes.
And how do you go from posting a fake endorsement to hating her?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Didn't he post a fake endorsement?
He a fake endorsement,
an AI thing that was completely fake and whatnot. But he hates her because. What was it? 11% of undecided voters have decided now that they're going to register and vote, or unregistered voters are going to register and vote for
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, 400,000.
We talked last week about that the traffic on vote.gov, which is a go register, go see where your precinct is, verify your registration, all that kind of stuff. Site went from 30,000 to 400,000 visits.
400,000. Yep.
Directly from her link that she posted. Can you imagine if only 1/4, that's 100,000 votes?
Yeah.
Remember Trump talking about in Georgia, just find me 11,000 votes. That's 100,000 votes. If only 1/4 of those people vote for Kamala. Of course he hates her all of a sudden.
Yeah. Big time. So we have another clip actually too.
Yes.
This is another example of Trump, although this is a little different. I think with Nicky Jam, I think almost, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm not surprised he didn't know who the guy was. This clip is a little more troubling. This is an example, I think, of cognitive decline. Just imagine what you're about to see, and imagine if Joe Biden said this after the first debate, right? If Joe Biden went on TV and said about the debate what Trump's about to say on this.
Watch.
They even said, but all of them, and they didn't correct her once, and they corrected me everything I said practically. I think 9 times or 11 times. And the audience was absolutely, they went crazy.
Yeah, okay, there you go. That's all we need to hear. The audience went crazy. The audience. Yeah. And do we remember that in both debates, there was no audience?
Yeah.
And they just let that go. Yeah, there was David Muir and the other.
Said, we're in the National Constitution Center. there is no audience tonight.
That's right.
He said it right at the beginning of the debate.
Right. So here he is on this show. Like, imagine Joe Biden, on CNN or something after the first debate. Well, I said this, and the audience went crazy. It's like, so Trump says that no one critiques, no one fact checks him, and then it's like, oh, the audience went crazy. Is the audience in the room now?
Is the audience with you? Do you see them?
Do you hear them? Do they follow you to the golf course? I mean, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's like, what audience? He lies so much. He can just get away with it. He lies so often.
And he doesn't get checked on it.
Never.
That's the thing that bothers me so much. And speaking of golf courses, I am not the biggest conspiracy theorist. I promise you I'm not. But I find it very uncanny that every time Trump has a bad media week, he also has an assassination attempt that fails. But I am not trying to get this man assassinated. Let me just be clear.
No,
my name is not Elon Musk. I'm not promoting. Did you see what that motherfucker?
Oh, idiot!
Oh, yeah,
he took that down.
By the way.
Yeah, he's an immigrant. We should deport. Yeah,
he took that down.
Yeah,
but he did post it. Yeah. So he must have realized what he was.
Well, I think the Secret Service is
probably seen 40 million times.
Yes.
40 million.
Yeah.
And that's, again, another example of stochastic terrorism.
That's right. Yeah.
He's another one that gets a free pass, too, because I don't think if it was anyone else, I think that he would have gotten hemmed up as well. They'd have been knocking his door down over that little
billions of dollars in government contracts, too.
That's exactly right.
He's got to be seeing stuff that normal people don't get to see, top secret shit. They need to pull his clearances and cancel his contracts and kick his ass back to South Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
For real.
I'm in favor. Big time.
Yeah. But no, Biden couldn't have gotten away with that.
No.
What crowd?
They would totally, yes.
When?
I said, he's losing it. He's losing it. This old man doesn't know. And listen, Trump is an old man, right? So, and he's had lots of mistakes like this. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, he just keeps getting away with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Becca said there was no attempt. The only shots fired were from Secret Service. That is true.
Right. No,
I don't know why they even called it an apparent attempted. Yeah, you kind of got to get around to attempting to do it. I don't know how they define these things, but in my mind, if only shots fired was Secret Service, nothing was attempted.
Yeah. The only thing concerning is that the guy was sitting there with a rifle
all that time
on the edge of the golf course for 12 hours. Come on. 12 hours. That's like all day, man. And he was just camped out there with a gun for 12 hours and no one caught him. No one saw him for 12 hours.
The thing that gets me is that this apparently was an off the record event trip there. Yes. So unless he's just aware that Trump is there every now and then, my thing is, how did he know they were going to be out there that day?
That's right. That's a good question.
Apparently now Trump has to hire his own security if he wants to play golf. He has to hire his own extra security if he wants to keep playing golf because the Secret Service isn't going to cover it.
I think they
shouldn't cover it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean,
why they shouldn't cover it? I mean, come on now. If you want to play golf, and who the hell? That's another thing, and we're gonna get on with this for real. But that's another thing. It's in the middle of you got 50 days left,
right, to
game day. And your ass is on the damn golf course every other day. If it was anybody else, it couldn't have been Biden. It couldn't have been Obama. It couldn't sure in the hell can't be Kamala that was out here chilling.
Right.
They would be talking. This is the laziness, the dereliction. We're coming down the stretch and this person is golfing. You don't have time to go. He gets a free pass on everything. Yes. He gets a free pass running around the world with this plastic surgery hate queen. Why his wife is nowhere to be found on the campaign trail and he's yucking it up with this girl. Have you seen their chemistry together?
Oh, it's a little
that would be front page news if it was anyone else.
That's right.
He gets the pass at every turn.
Yes. Yeah.
This woman, that would be a scandal if it was anyone else.
Trump's plane, whatever it's called. She's not allowed to fly on his plane anymore.
Really? I didn't know that.
I bet.
Yeah, that was reported last weekend.
Oh man.
That she was not allowed on the plane anymore.
Why?
Because Well, because it didn't look good, and because of all the kind of batshit stuff that she says that's now coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, that's
you can't say the quiet part out loud too often. People start catching on.
And you certainly can't have
it ain't obvious already.
Yeah. You certainly can't have a female version of the hate bullhorn next to you while you roll around saying all the quiet parts out loud.
Yeah.
It was a bad look from the get-go. But this is the part that bugs me so much. He gets a free from the time he said you could grab him by the pussy and do anything you want, and that slid on by. There's nothing that he cannot do that won't get sane washed, that won't get looked over, that won't get pushed to the side, that won't get swept under the rug. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, CNN did report today, and I was flabbergasted. They reported on 12 made-up stories that Donald Trump has been telling within the last few weeks that are complete fabrications.
Wow.
So, if you look, I'm sure people can find the article, CNN 12 lies Trump's telling, or something like that, 12 untrue stories. And it included, the Haitian thing, and Kamala Harris wants to reinstitute the draft, and all, just stuff that he's just making up.
Yeah.
Just piss people off. And I was it you, Keith, that said that maybe he's actually trying to lose so that he can just do to stoke the violence?
I've heard that.
I don't know.
I think he wants another January 6th. I think he wants another January 6th, and I think it's only going to happen if, like last time, and actually John just had the comment here, as the strategy is to keep telling, what he keeps telling his people all the time is, I'm winning by a lot. And I am going to win so big. And so when he gets his ass kicked, which is why he's golfing, he's not trying to win. He wants to lose in the actual election so that he can have another rally with all of his people together, this time more organized, and say, they stole it again, and you're going to have to fight for it again, because I was supposed to win. And where are these millions of votes come from that I lost by, right?
I might be in the minority. I don't think he wants to lose because I think he wants to stay out of jail.
That's
so true. I don't think he wants to lose.
If he wins,
but I think he's too fucking lazy to win the right way.
Yeah,
he doesn't necessarily want to lose, but he doesn't have the integrity. He doesn't have the accountability. He doesn't have the moral turpitude. He doesn't have the character. He's showing the hell doesn't have the energy, and then he's starting to think he doesn't have the sanity or mental capacity to win. Because I don't know where the audience was on debate night, but it sure in the hell wasn't the room going wild.
No, there was no audience. There was no audience going wild, except in his head.
There was a video yesterday that said nobody leaving Trump rally in New Jersey, that showed, because he said nobody leaves my rally, so they were being ironic, and hundreds of people were walking out away from the whatever venue was, and you could hear him speaking in the background, and I mean it was hundreds of people walking away with their MAGA hats and other paraphernalia on.
Yeah.
It's wild. It is what she said it was. People are bored. The show is getting old. It's a rerun. People are tired.
Oh my gosh.
Same old.
It's really boring.
Even the racists are getting bored.
He ain't got nothing new. But we do have something that's kind of new. We got merchandise, y'all. Have y'all heard? We got cups.
Oh yeah.
We got mouse pads. We got t-shirts. Look at our handsome model, Dylan Neighbor Cruz.
Yeah.
The tattoo theologian. We got hoodies. We got hats. We got all kind of stuff. You need to check out our merch, okay? Help the God Squad out a little something. And then we will turn around and donate 25% of all our proceeds to a charity. The first charities that we're choosing are ones that Keith, Dylan, and myself will choose. And then we'll be soliciting options from you all about charities that you would like for us to donate to. So check us out. Check out our merch. We got some nice stuff. We want to see y'all rock it. Take a picture, snap a picture, post it to godsquadpod.com. Excuse me, on our Facebook page. But I know that Dylan Neighbor Cruz got something for us. I know you got the tea. What you got on us with the tea, with the fundamental fuckwittery tea? I know. Spill the tea, Dylan. What's up?
I can't wait until this segment is irrelevant, but that's not today. So today, the fundamentalist fuckwittery in America is going to be brought to you by Daily Caller correspondent, or Daily Wire Daily Wire correspondent Megan Basham, who has recently released a book called Shepherds for Sale: How Evangelical Leaders Traded Truth for a Leftist Agenda. And the other day, biblical scholar Pete Enns showed a picture of that book and crossed out leftist and wrote fascist and said, fixed it for you.
Yeah.
Matt, if you want to bring up the graphic real quick. So Megan Basham, I have interacted with her several times on Twitter. I think she's got me muted now. But she is definitely a white racist Christian nationalist, but then she also tries to pretend that that's not what she is. So for the folks at home who can't see this, she says, look, I've been on the fence on the Christian nationalist label, but the number of professing believers out there acting like it would be a scary thing to have civil government, cultural institutions dominated by Christian ethics again is really weird. Why would you think a society aligned with biblical order would be a bad thing? So that's on September 7th. And then on the same day, she's like, well, I'd certainly start with both laws and cultural standards that recognize biblical sexuality and family formation. Obergefell would be out. No-fault divorce laws would be out. Anti-pornography laws would be in. Would you agree with this? All of that stuff is straight out of Project 2025.
It is.
All of that stuff is white Christian nationalism.
Yep.
All of that stuff is in the statement on Christian nationalism and the gospel. So she tries to pretend that this is not who she is. But she definitely is, because she hangs out with people like Joel Webbon, who has been the fundamentalist fuckwit of the week before, and Doug Wilson, who has also been on this segment. And then there's this. Matt, if you want to bring up the video. And we talked about this issue a little bit last night, and this is an issue that's near and dear to my heart, because my first book was about climate change, permaculture, and the Christian response there too, through the lens of the golden rule and permaculture. So let's just hear what Megan Basham has to say about climate change.
A report pressing the theological issue of climate change. It was titled Loving the Least of These. Now, what that title implies is that if you do not think that Christians need to advocate for climate change policies, you are not loving the least of these. The report contends that becoming a climate change activist is part of, quote, manifesting Christ's love, and calls it a, quote, gospel issue within the lordship of Christ. Not only that, it claims that creation care, another term, is part of the Great Commission. Direct quote. They're saying it is part of Christ's command to bring the good news of salvation to the lost. Climate change. A few more quotes from that document. We cannot claim to love God while abusing what belongs to Christ. Jesus tells us, if you love me, keep my commands. Now, keep in mind, the abuse they're referring to here simply refers to driving gas-powered cars, turning on our air conditioning at the rate we do now. If we don't agree that regulations are needed to curb these things, this means the NAE says we cannot claim to love God. So what kind of actions does the NAE think Christians need to engage in order to love God and obey his commands? We need to, quote, severely cut greenhouse gas emissions. We need to advocate for government and corporate action. We need to, quote, pass legislation that helps speeds up the transition to renewable energy and decreases the use of fossil fuels.
So what she just did there was basically tell you what's in the Project 2025 manual on the environment, right? And right after that part of the clip, she goes into a long rant about climate change denialism. And she starts talking about the international, the IPCC report, the International Policy on Climate Change report, that is the industry gold standard on climate change. And she starts talking about it as if it's a UN conspiracy and all this kind of stuff. And then she goes on to complain about the fact that later in the video, she starts saying, well, did this evangelical organization ever put out anything on the, and I quote, transgender social contagion capturing the minds of adolescents and even younger children?
Social contagion?
Yeah.
To take care of the planet?
No, that transgender people
Oh, I'm sorry. Got it.
Are a social contagion. Social contagion is fascist Nazi style rhetoric.
Yep. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But here's the thing.
Transgenderism is not contagious.
No.
She's trying to pretend that there are scientists out there who don't agree with the IPCC report. And if there are, they're paid by ExxonMobil.
Right.
And for those who don't know, Exxon knew in the 1970s that continuing to burn fossil fuels would lead to rapid climate change and then tipping points that we can't go past. And they were like, oh, that's all right. We're going to get paid anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just continued ad infinitum, along with companies like BP and Shell and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is the only planet that we've got. And as I say in my book, Go Golden, ours is now a global community. Every person living from Albania to fucking Zimbabwe is our neighbor now.
Yeah,
that's right.
Because of the way a closed biosphere works. And if you're polluting the water here, that's falling as rain somewhere else.
That's right.
On your neighbors. If you're dumping stuff in the water here, it's going down the watershed to your neighbors downstream. If you're putting chemicals in the soil, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, here's what climate scientist Dr. Michael Mann, he is the guy who created the hockey stick graph, which is a famous graph in climate science. He says, the world must reduce global carbon emissions by 50% by 2030 and bring them down to zero by mid-century to avert catastrophic planetary warming and the devastating impacts that come with it. Achieving these results is already an uphill battle. And while the policy progress under the Biden administration gets the United States part of the way, there is far more that needs to be done. For those keeping score at home, 2030 is 6 years from now.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if Trump gets reelected, all of the climate change stuff that Biden has done goes away. It's right there in chapter the chapter written by Mandy Gunasekara, the former EPA director under Trump, who wrote the EPA chapter in the Project 2025 document. Again, she was the EPA director under Donald Trump.
Yep. Agenda 47 also has the same kind of thing. So I said, so if he wants to say, well, I don't, Project 2025 isn't my deal. He's saying this in his own agenda on his own website, that he totally plans to get rid of all the environmental protection stuff. They want to get rid of all that language and not just the language, but the policies. Yeah. And drill, baby, drill.
They're living out loud these days. They're living out loud about all of it these days.
Right. Yep.
So Megan doesn't seem to know that evangelicals are not all on board with the kind of nonsense that she's spewing. There's an organization called Young Evangelicals for Climate Action. And then this is a book that I read at seminary called Introducing Evangelical Eco-Theology, Foundations in Scripture, Theology, History, and Praxis. And I want to read a real brief quote. And this kind of gets to the heart of my book that I was talking about earlier. A principal reason to care for creation is mutuality. The well-being of humankind is dependent on the well-being of the planet and vice versa. That's it. That's right there.
Yep.
This planet is a human ecosystem. If you shit in your bed, pretty soon you ain't going to be able to sleep in your bed no more.
That's right. Yes.
And Megan Basham,
it's gonna be real rough for you.
Megan Basham is selling out to Christian libertarian ideas. She's selling the gospel for Christian libertarian ideas and for capitalism that says that we can just destroy the planet. There is literally nothing in the Bible that says that you are at liberty to destroy the creation that God called good over and over and over and over again.
Right.
That's right.
And so for all of those reasons, and for many, many more, because like I said, she's a white nationalist, Christo-fascist, Megan Basham is this week's representative for fundamentalist fuckwittery in the United States of America. And Megan, girl, I hope you repent, because what is wrong with you?
What's really going on? My thing is, of course, I'm all for protecting the planet. I'll say what I said on John's show last night on Tell Me Everything. There's nothing that God has entrusted us with that He intends for us to destroy. That includes the earth. Okay,
Of course.
but I'm more concerned about. Well, I'm equally concerned about the foolishness she posted about white Christian about Christian nationalism. The white is implied for me, but the Christian nationalism.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And her saying, I don't know what's wrong with that. What's wrong with that? These are the same people that will tell you that ISIS, Al Qaeda, Hamas, whatever they all them, terrorist groups, they will condemn them. They will tell you they're demonic. They will tell you this and that and the third. They are them.
Yeah.
They are them. Because anytime you want a theology over a democracy, anytime you want your specific faction of your religion to govern what everyone else does to make you more comfortable or to make it more palatable to you, you're not any different than them. Your shit doesn't stink any less than theirs. You might not be making your women to cover up their whole face and only reveal their eyes. You might not be walking these streets with guns trying to police, but you're trying to.
Oh, yeah.
If you could have it your way.
Yes.
Okay. And not just Christianity or the Bible being the governing order, but your specific version of it. How you interpret it and how you having that projected onto the whole country. You're not any different than the Taliban, boo. You ain't any different than ISIS. You ain't any different than Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
And the irony is, she sits down with people like Doug Wilson and Joel Webbin and talks theology. And these are avowed racist. Joel Webbin is like, if I see black people in my neighborhood, I get scared.
Yeah.
And Doug Wilson is a neo-Confederate slavery apologist.
That's right.
And that's the kind of company that she's keeping. So don't tell me you ain't racist if that's the kind of company that you're. Now, there's that one gentleman, I think his name is Daryl Davis, who goes around and he hangs out. He's a black guy and he hangs out with KKK guys and he gets them to hang up their robes.
But he converts them.
That's not what's happening.
Yeah, that's right.
That's not what's happening here.
That's not what's happening.
Megan is going and like reaffirming this white nationalist, racist, Christo-fascist horse shit.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of adjectives and they all apply. That's also not what's happening with this motherfucker that we're going to talk about next. Which is none other than the clown of the week. And let me tell you something. This week has been chock full of motherfuckers, so much so that
it was hard to pick one.
Man, the struggle was so real to single out. And then today, I had somebody in mind. I actually had JD Vance shady ass in mind, and I had another one in mind. And then today we get hit with some breaking news on this motherfucker here. Go ahead and run the video.
This one's hard to beat. I agree. This is
hard to beat. To beat.
Hey, Amber and Lauren, good afternoon. We have been reading for the last hour through that bombshell report that CNN released this afternoon. It talks a lot about derogatory comments that CNN claims that Robinson made online before he occupied the lieutenant governor's office here on Blunt Street. CNN claims that Robinson made several inflammatory comments on a message board of a pornography site more than a decade ago. The comments allegedly were made under a different username. ABC News has not confirmed this reporting. In them, though, someone who is identified by CNN as Robinson expressed his support for reinstating slavery and apparently called himself a black Nazi at one point. CNN reports the comments were made under a username that CNN was able to identify as Robinson by matching a litany of biographical details and a shared email address between the two. In a video released just before the CNN report, Robinson denied he made the comments and claimed the allegations were, quote, salacious tabloid lies.
You all have seen the half-truths and outright lies of Josh Stein on these ads over and over again. And now a story leaked by him to CNN is appearing now. Let me reassure you, the things that you will see in that story Those are not the words of Mark Robinson.
And to be clear, Amber and Lauren, ABC News has not verified the things Robinson allegedly wrote under the username.
That's it for the video. I have a slide. And you know what? Those things are not the words. You understand that I want you to dissect what this clown just said just now.
Yeah.
He did not say, I did not say that.
Right.
He did not say, I did not post that.
He didn't say, I'm not a black Nazi.
He didn't say, I'm not a black Nazi.
Yeah.
He said, those aren't the words of Mark Robinson. That's because he posted them under
That's right. Another name.
Minute Soldier or something or another. He posted. Can you pull up that slide? And just let's take a look at what this fool had to say exactly. This is just a few snippets. And mind you, this was on a porno site.
Yeah.
That he posted these things. Do we have that slide?
Who do you chat with on a porno site? I don't get this. Like we were talking politics with somebody on.
Yes, and this is the one that said some people need killing.
Yes,
this is also the same guy. He was standing in a church when he said that.
When he said, "Yep, that's right."
Yeah.
This is also the same guy who said about abortion that is women just need to keep their legs closed or something. He said, "What were you going to say, Dylan?"
Well, the Charlotte Clymer, the trans Christian activist that I interviewed earlier in the week, she has a fantastic thread of many problematic things that Mark Robinson has said and done before this dropped.
Wow.
So it's a really good thread. If you go to Charlotte Clymer on Twitter, it'll be there.
Very cool.
Yeah. So here's a couple things. And it's funny how he came out before the news broke and said, put it on Josh. Is it Josh Steiner? What's the other guy's name? The Democratic candidate. He ain't had nothing to do with this. He didn't have nothing to do with this. Let me read just a few of the things. You might can't see that he posted. It says Robinson, who would become North Carolina's first black governor if he's elected, repeatedly maligned civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., attacking him in such intense terms that a user accused him of being a white supremacist. And let me just pause before I read this. Breaking news. Black people can be white supremacists. Yeah. Now, back to our regular scheduled program. He said, get that effing commie bastard off the National Mall. I want to remind you that he was referring to Martin Luther King Jr. Robinson wrote about the dedication of the memorial to King in Washington, D.C. by then President Barack Obama. Now, what's so ironic about that is when Trump introduced him one time, didn't he say this is like Martin Luther King
on steroids?
Yeah. That's so ironic. And then he said, another post was, I'm not in the KKK. They don't let blacks join. If I was in the KKK, I would have called him Martin Lucifer Coon. This is what this man said. This is why he's running 90 miles per hour in the other direction of these posts. And this is also what he said. Writing in a forum discussing black Republicans in October 2010, he stated, unprovoked, I'm a black Nazi with an exclamation point. That same month, Robinson wrote in another post that he supported the return of slavery. Quote, slavery is not bad. Some people need to be slaves. I wish they would bring it, in parentheses, slavery back. I would certainly buy a few. Negro, you would be a few.
Damn.
Okay.
And notice the language there. Some people need killing.
That's
Some
right.
people need to be slaves.
Some people need to be slaves.
It's him.
It's him. He said, I like watching tranny on girl porn. This is something he posted. That is effing hot. It takes the man out while leaving the man in. And yeah, I'm a perv too. Yeah, we know.
Dude.
This is why he's running 90 miles per hour in the other direction of this. And then he comes back on. Now, I want you to listen to this response because only one person made these posts, but listen to how he responded. This is not us. Who the fuck is us?
Yeah.
No, nigga. Lord, let us not get this. It was you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is not us. These are not our words. And this is not anything that is characteristic of me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. presented with a litany of evidence connecting him with the Minisold. The username is MINISOLDR. Okay, and it shares the email address that he has used. That's right. Similar language, similar style posting, similar milestones in his life, like his anniversary, different things that he was doing. He posted on both of it, on all his sites. All the timelines line up. And he said, I'm not going to get into the minutia of how somebody manufactured these salacious tabloid lies. There ain't no minutia.
Nope.
To get into, because nobody manufactured this. You can take that down. And now they are calling, there's a groundswell of people in his party calling for him to get out of the race. I'm going to say this. No, Mark Robinson. No, what's that? Is that Kevin Hart? No. Don't get out the race. Don't get out the race. We need you. We need this motherfucker to stay right where he's at. Oh, he's perfectly placed to pull that Republican ticket all the way down to hell where it belongs. It's just going down and down. He's in double digits below the Democratic candidate, and that's right the hell where he need to be. Don't get out, Mark. You right, brother. Stand on it. 10 toes down. Stay in the fight. You gotta stay in the fight, brother. Don't get out. They just want you to get out. They wanted this to come out, so don't let them do it to you. Don't let them push you out. Stand on the block, bruh. 10 toes down. I need him to stay right where he's at, because he's helping us win in North Carolina. And I believe it was the governor of North Carolina that said, if you win North Carolina, you win the presidency. Damn right. Stay right where you at, Mark. That motherfucker needs to stay right where he's at with his self-hating black Nazi clown cooning ass. He need to be right where he's at.
Yeah.
And yes, there are black people who are white supremacists. One of them is Mark Robinson. Another one of them is Clarence Thomas. And I could ramble off. Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court Justice. Did I get that name right? Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Uncle Ruckus, if you know who that is. Listen, I could ramble off some names. That guy from Django.
Yeah.
That was a character in a movie, but I promise you there's people in the world like that guy. We sick, boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need Mark Robinson to stay right where he's at and pull that Republican ticket all the way down to Loserville where they belong. What y'all think about this motherfucker here?
Well, I saw the evidence.
Yeah.
Because the CNN report showed all of the evidence. They didn't just have words. They showed the screenshots. They showed the timelines and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, the case that they're making is pretty damn strong that it's a particular lieutenant governor from North Carolina. And again, some folks need killing and some folks need to be slaves is a turn of phrase that it's not coincidence.
The two people using the same email address seem to talk a lot the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and after that story dropped, you remember the Ashley Madison thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That website for affairs and stuff.
And a bunch of Christians got caught.
Yeah. Well, he was on that list too.
Really?
Yeah.
What list was he on?
The Ashley Madison, the Look for an Affair website.
Yeah, it was a website where you could sign up anonymously and you could have an affair. But then someone leaked all the info of all the people that were on it, and a bunch of Christian pastors were on there.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Mark Robinson was also on that list, so he's having a rough day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to drop out. My whole thing is, aren't the ballots already printed up by this time? Like,
yeah.
Can you even drop out and have your name removed and have somebody else? Can that even happen this late in the game?
Well, apparently in North Carolina, what I read today was if he was removed from the ticket, anybody that voted for him, the votes would automatically go to the next person. So whoever the Republicans put in his place would get Mark Robinson's votes if he were to back out. But there are North Carolina Republicans that are like, hey, this is pretty bad. We need to know that for sure this ain't true. And Trump has now said we can't be seen with you anymore.
Of
After
course.
that ringing endorsement of he's Dr. King on steroids.
Somebody needs to do a study on how many people Trump has endorsed and then disavowed or cut himself off from. There's got to be a whole.
It's probably almost
bucket
all of them. It's easier to make a list of the people that haven't happened to, right? Because I think almost everybody, they either got arrested or put in jail or got caught doing something. Everybody in his own cabinet, right? From his term. Yeah. And then, I'm waiting for the day. I'm hoping it's coming soon that Republicans are going to realize that Trump is not good for them. And they need to cut themselves off this guy. And, John Fugelsang says all the time, and I hope he's right, that pretty soon they're going to realize he's a loser. Hopefully in November, they're going to realize that he is a loser and he will have lost now, right? So many times in a row that they will just drop him like a hot rock. And that'll be a happy day.
I don't think they'll come to it. He's not, I don't think they would. Because I would think they've been here by now. They've been losing. They've been losing since the midterms of 2018. Well, they haven't won.
Yeah, but they'll probably hold on to him until they can find someone who can win, right? I think they were ready for it to be DeSantis. If they thought maybe DeSantis could do it, but then of course he couldn't do it.
He was weird.
Yeah, I think they're willing.
With his white go-go boots.
They just got to find. Yeah, he was weird. They just got to find somebody. That can, they don't even care. They just want somebody who can win.
And they don't care about anything but winning. That's the reason why Trump is their nominee. If all the mainstream Republicans had stood up against him when he had got impeached the first or the second time, he would be a non-issue right now because he only had to get impeached one of those times to not be able to be a candidate.
Yeah.
He couldn't run again. So they had two opportunities to get rid of this menace, and they chose not to. That's on them. If they never see the White House for the next 2 decades, that's on them because they had opportunities to be done with this. They had a moral ground and a political position. In an off year, they could have got rid of him with the impeachment, and he could not run again for president. And they missed that opportunity.
Yeah,
that's on them. They have to own this and everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
This is their bed. They got to lay down in it now.
They got to eat that. They made that. They got to eat that. What's up, Keith? You got some good news for us?
I do have some good news. And after all of that bad news, we do need some good news. If you listen to the show last night, John Fugelsang's show last night, I did mention this last night, but for everybody else, even if you did listen to it, it bears repeating. So, we've talked about, we know what's been going on with JD Vance making up these stories. We've seen how it has been hurting the Haitian community there in Springfield, Ohio. Death threats, hospitals closed, schools closed. And today, schools were closed again for bomb threats and things like that. The KKK passing out flyers, the Proud Boys marching in the streets and threatening people. So, Trump and JD Vance, by the way, if you don't remember, JD Vance, is a senator from Ohio. He's doing this to his own people, right? These are people that voted for him, and this is the way he's returning the favor. He's throwing them under the bus. And they don't care that people are schools are closed, that there's death threats. He doesn't care about any of that, the KKK and the Proud Boys and all that. So, they've made things really, really bad for not just the Haitian community, but other people are saying too, we just want these people to leave us alone. The mayor, the governor of Ohio, they've all asked for Trump and Vance to stop, and they won't. They're just doubling down. So in the midst of all that bad news of what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, here's some good news. There are some Christians in Springfield, Ohio, who are really the kinds of Christians who love their neighbor as themselves. Not the storm the Capitol kind of Christian, but the love your neighbor, follow Jesus, kind of Christian. And these are people like Reverend Carl Ruby. He's the pastor of the church, Central Christian Church in Springfield, Ohio. They have opened their doors. They have volunteered. They've welcomed in Haitian, the immigrants there in the community. And I'm very, very shocked to say this, but I'm happy to say I'm a former Southern Baptist. I got not a lot to say good or positive about Baptists, but here's a good one. Reverend Adam Banks is the pastor of the First Baptist Church in Springfield, Ohio, and this man has also stepped up. He has opened his church. They're volunteering. They're serving. He has stood up and spoken out publicly, saying that these Haitian immigrants have been a blessing to the city. That there was, he said there were years ago when the city was in decline, and having these people come in, they've come in and opened businesses. They've helped the economy. All of these things have actually been really positive for Springfield, Ohio. And in addition to that, I just found out yesterday, there's a new movement called Conquer with Love that was started in Springfield, Ohio, as a result of all the negative stuff that's going on against, targeting Haitians. And it mobilizes residents in Springfield, Ohio, and also area cities to literally flood Haitian-owned restaurants and businesses, and to bless them, buy their stuff, buy their food, give them business to help them during this time. And so all of that is beautiful. And that's really, really good news. When something bad like this happens, it's beautiful to see, especially in this situation, people stand up and say, I'm a follower of Jesus. This isn't what Jesus calls us to do. The Bible tells us that we're supposed to treat the immigrant as one of our own and to love them as we love ourselves. And so these people are stepping forward and doing that. That's awesome. That's beautiful. I think that's great, but I still think it would be wonderful if Trump and Vance would back off and give these people a break.
Yes, that's some great news. And also there was an anti-hate march in Springfield. I don't know if it was earlier today or late yesterday, but there was an anti-hate march where people came out with their signs. They had signs that said, "Hate does not make America great," and all kinds of beautiful signs that they had. And I just think that's a wonderful thing, that there is some type of beautiful thing that's coming out of this. My prayer is that there's not some kind of domestic terrorist attack on the Haitian community, because there's churches, there's businesses, there's targets, And so my prayer is that nothing happens with the schools, the churches, the businesses, community centers, and things like that, because there are crazy people who are just sitting around waiting to be activated. And the words of this guy activate that in them. They feel empowered and they feel like they're receiving their marching orders from this clown. And it's beyond me how unaware, or either it's being unaware or just not even giving a damn, that Trump is of the impact of his words. The days after he put those lies out on international television, schools are shutting down. Hospitals are receiving bomb threats. Civil service offices, city center, whatever, getting locked down. Words have power.
And I heard
sharper than any two-edged sword.
Like
that's
Isn't that
right.
what the Bible says? The tongue is sharper than any two-edged sword. That's why this is so dangerous. And isn't he still planning to hold a rally?
He's claiming he's going to do a rally there. Now, what's that? Well, last time he held a rally, it's something like that. What happened, right? We had January 6th. That's what's scary to me. He's going to mobilize these people, and they're going to go burn down a bunch of homes in the Haitian.
I hope not. But even when the mayor is asking you to please don't come, who's a Republican, find something else to do. Go find something else to do.
Just make him want to come in even more.
I think so. I think that's exactly what it did. Unfortunately, he's like, "We're coming. Okay, all right." I don't think it's going to help him, to be honest. But apparently, he thinks it is going to help him some kind of way. I don't think he's interested. None of the Republican Party that's following after Trump is interested in making that tent any bigger and any wider and letting anybody else in. It's all MAGA all the time.
It is.
Because if it were, more of them would stand up against this foolishness. More of them would denounce him. More of them would, get off the team. More of them would stop washing him on the news. That irritates the crap out of me, where he says something completely delusional and nutty, and then they get on the news and try to make it make sense. It doesn't fucking make sense what he said or what he's saying. Stop gaslighting the whole country about this clown. It doesn't make sense. He doesn't make sense. He rambles on nonsensically for hours, and then y'all try to wash it on Fox.
Yeah, I heard
Newsmax or wherever the hell else.
Yeah, I think I heard JD Vance on one of the news shows. They were saying to him, but they're calling them these bomb threats to schools and hospitals and government buildings, and he's like, oh, but those threats aren't real. Those bombs aren't real. It's like, no, dude, listen. That's the whole point of a bomb threat. It's a terrorist threat. It's creating fear in children, in government workers, fear in hospital workers, right? First responders. They're living in fear that they're going to die. They're going to get blown up by
communities,
some
disrupting
racist
order, creating chaos.
Yeah. And so it doesn't, I'm glad that there weren't real bombs, but that doesn't mean there was no damage done. Damage is being done. Fear and terror are being spread throughout this community, all because of JD Vance admitting that he made up this damn story, right? It's like, so, the governor has said it's a made-up story. The mayor has said it's a made-up story. The police have said it's a made-up story. And you know who else has said it's a made-up story? JD fucking Vance has admitted it's a made-up story. But they're going to keep repeating it anyway. That is insane.
And no, they're not the party of law and order.
No, they're
the party of lawlessness and disorder, and they have proven that.
That's right.
Time and time again, they have proven that. They don't care about the law nor order, especially if it's not going their way.
Or the American people. Yeah.
Or the American. They don't care about their own people. You know what I'm saying? Because their own people are suffering too behind some of this. They don't care. They do not care. And I hope that the country wakes up. The part of the country that's asleep and tranquilized under this foolishness. I hope that they wake up, because I'm going to tell you what, this is going to sound crazy, but we need a healthy Republican Party. We do.
Yeah.
Because this lunacy, this disease, this scab, as what's his name called it, that's what the union guy, he called Trump a scab. This cancer that is Donald Trump, it's impacting the entire country. I'm telling you something. This world, this country is more dangerous than it has ever been for anyone on all sides and any side of the matter because of this man. Okay, we have been in a political whirlwind or turmoil since we have thrown decorum out. We have thrown order out. We got people talking out the side of their neck on the congressional floor. We got, everything that made us who we are. The honorable thing about, politicians are going to be politicians, but it used to be honorable. There used to be decorum. It used to be respectable. There used to be a code of conduct. It's all out the window. Everything goes, anything goes. Up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left. The lie is the truth, and the truth is a lie.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We need a healthy Republican Party. We do. I'll never be a Republican, but I will advocate for a healthy Republican Party. Why? Yeah. Because everybody has a right to their voice and their values.
That's right.
And the party that has been taken over by Trump doesn't value the voice or the values of its people. They don't give a damn.
Yeah. The Republican Party was last healthy when Thaddeus Stevens was the congressman from Lancaster, and that was in the Civil War era.
It's been quite a while then, yeah.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, speaking of Republicans, I don't think we mentioned this because I think this happened between our shows, but I don't know if you guys know, if our listeners know who George Will is. But George Will is like...
It's arch conservative.
Yeah, arch conservative, a major... I mean, I don't think anymore. I think he's kind of retired, but for a while there, he was like the main Republican guy you went to. Like if there was an election or debate, he was the guy on the news. They were bringing in as an expert. What do you think about this? I think he wrote a column for either Washington Post or New York Times or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was a regular columnist. He was like, he was the go-to guy for full-on, like you said, Republican conservative values. And this guy, George Will, when I saw this last week or maybe a couple of days ago, he is endorsing Kamala Harris. I was like, wow, holy cow. Somebody, see, some of these guys are starting to wake up. They're starting to realize that, yeah, you know what? It's not worth it. Trump does not stand for the same things that Republicans stand for. He is not a Republican. He's totally not a Republican. And these Republicans that are trying to ride his coattails, I think more and more of them need to have the balls, have the guts, have a spine to stand up and say, yeah, I'm a Republican, but I am with that guy.
I'm not with that guy.
People.
That guy's not a Republican.
And he's not a Republican. He's totally
Trump
not.
Trump accuses people of being a rhino, but he's actually the rhino. He's the one that's a Republican in name only. He has never been a Republican.
That's exactly right.
And he has dragged the Republican Party down to the gutter.
It's his party now. That's right. That's why no actual Republicans, like sitting former presidents, showed up to the Republican convention. They weren't welcome in their own party because it's not the Republican Party. It's the Trump Party.
Yeah.
Well, listen, did you have something, Dylan, real quick?
No, I was just agreeing with Keith.
Dylan's like, just amen, brother.
That's right. Amen.
Listen, you guys need to check us out on Tell Me Everything with John Fugelsang on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you also need to check out our merchandise, which we mentioned. Go on and get you a cup, get you a t-shirt, get you a sweatshirt, get you a mouse pad, get you something, you know what I'm saying? Get a sticker, get a decal, get something over there on our merch page. And then you need to like, share, and subscribe to our podcast, wherever you get your podcast, and share it with people all on your social media, everywhere. Tell people, tune in, whatever you got to do, to get the word out. And if you have been listening, but you haven't rated us on one of your social media sites, give us a rating on Apple, iTunes, wherever we at, all them places, Spotify, wherever we at, give us a rating. 5 stars. If you ain't got 5 stars, keep it 1, 2, 3, 4 stars to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because I believe we're a 5-star show. I'm just saying. And listen, thank you for tuning in every week. Becky, John, Matt, all the way up. Care Bear, you cracked me up today, Care Bear. We missing Tabby today. I don't know where she at. We missing you, Tabby. Judy Springsteen. I'm gonna get in trouble with naming names, but I just want to show y'all some love. Beth, Bill Fistermacher, you always have some good comments. The gentleman that's from Ireland, I think he has an interesting name on here. He pops in every now and again with his sexy bearded self. Brandy Michelle Weaver, thank you for your post. She says she absolutely loves us and that she despises Trump. She was married to a guy just like him, so she knows his kind. I understand. I've been there, done that as well. So thank you to everybody who's been listening in faithfully, watching the show, listening to the show. If you've been checking us out, we had a great show. Tell Me Everything with John Fugelsang last night. So if you didn't catch that, you need to go check that out too. The Alternative Ulstermen. Thank you for listening in. Everybody that's been listening, thank you for being faithful. Michael Rhodes Garcia, thank you for being faithful. Donna Lee, thank you. So listen, check us out. We'll be here every week, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Progress Radio 127. And I think that's a wrap, y'all. What about it?
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Let's see how many what the fuss we could rack up between now and next week.
Who knows how many?
Breaking news has been broken since 2016, and they've been breaking ever since. But we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, thanks everybody.
It's been a great time at church. Amen. Yeah. This is the benediction. May the Lord watch between you and us while we were absent one from another, but not from the Lord. God bless y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Good night.